when right from the dawn of the times when I was a Python developer, 3 years into the industry, uh, we had to generate this Mongo query out of an user input. And over the period of time, I see a lot of apps where you want a front end which gives you a bunch of inputs in a JSON format, and you want a backend that can just run a query. And this is a very common use case. I think even Notion does it in the backend. If you see Metabase, which is a database connector, that does it. So it's been a very common use case, and I have to solve it again and again. One thing that's missing more than the query generator is a centralized schema for what this configuration is going to look like. So I'm trying to bring out that schema. So here, for example, this is a Postgres query generator, and my input schema is going to look something like this. The schema's name is test filter. I'm going to use the user table, and I want to just select 2 items. So when I do this, it's going to look like this. Very simple. But I can also go ahead and do some more stuff like joins over the table department, and foreign key is ID and the local field is ID, and then bunch of filters here, and it will look something like this. It's huge, and it will get huger with the moment you add group by and everything. And this now, right now, it is in 3 different formats. So we also have a Mongo query generator, which is going to go pages and pages. So the same join query in Mongo will look something like this. You need to project a bunch of columns, you need to filter a bunch of columns, and then you need to do a lookup. And then there is also BigQuery. BigQuery will look very similar to Postgres except for these 3 things. Right now, all of this have its own query generators. What you're seeing is a test file, but my query generators are also somewhere here. Postgres query generator. So these are my query generators, and the centralized schema is all Pydantic. So I'm trying to publish that as a standard. But for me to publish that into a standard, it has to support almost all permutation combination of all queries. So this is my configuration. It starts with a query config. There is my fields like selects, filters, group, sort, limit, offset, joins. All of this is being configured. I also have what's next for this. So support for complex queries, ID-based transformation, more databases, complex queries. Right now, I've just escaped all the date ranges. Nested filter operations is something very huge. So all of this I will build into this. Again, like I said, it's not the query generator that's the crux of it. It's that structure. There is also something called as React Query Builder, if I'm not wrong. So if I can, this is a front-end JSON standard. Yeah, this one. If I can take this JSON as an input, they pretty much have everything. If we can take this as an input and generate the query, then my project is done. So that's where I am leading to, making this an open source standard for everybody who's building a data platform. And yeah, that's the dream.